Hey everybody, Adam Savage, and I am in a very special place at the American Museum of Natural History. Lauri, tell me where we are.
We are in the exhibition department, and in particular, we're in our preparator studio where we make all the models. What you're seeing are lots of pieces of a new exhibition we're doing called Impact, the End of the Age of Dinosaurs. And so we are looking at the amazing, diverse life of the Cretaceous period. And then boom, so you're gonna see that happen.
Oh, wow.
And then the part that people really don't know much about is what happened after? Like, how did we get from that moment of an incredible event that drove about 75% of the species on the planet to extinction?
Right, and within a couple of days.
Within days and months, and it's dark and nothing's really survived. Nothing much is surviving. So how do we get from that moment to today? Right? That's the story. Everybody knows this meteorite, boom, comes, hits the dinosaurs, dinosaurs are gone. There's lots they don't know. And we did some interviews with our visitors on our dinosaur floor to say, do you know about, like, how did the dinosaurs go extinct? Every kid knows. We're like, but what happened? What do you think happened in the oceans? The oceans. Oh, I don't know. Nothing. So we're like, oh, that's an opportunity for us. That's what because people love dinosaurs. They're super interested, but they only know a slice of the story. So we're like, okay, let's take that oceans thread. Maybe the first thing we'll do is have these big underwater creatures that are totally unfamiliar to people to be like, oh, whoa, never seen those around today. So something happened in the oceans. And then you come to this big terrestrial diorama that's got this amazing tree and all sorts of little critters coming out of burrows.
Oh, wow.
Because, of course, we want people to know, yes, there's mammals. They're just really small. Yes, there's birds, but they don't look like birds today. Birds with teeth, for example. There's turtles. So we're trying to populate this scene in the Cretaceous. Then we have an amazing film to take you through the asteroid impact. Then there's another scene that's like kind of the incinerated version of this scene of like, whoops, right? So that's where we were. And then you got to rebuild the whole planet. So then you have to go step by step of like, who knew like the whole planet's covered in ferns? There's a fern spike. That's crazy.
After the impact.
And then, so big dinosaurs are gone. So obviously there's ecological niches. And what we start to see, right, in part, is the rise of the mammals, right? So we see from small mammals to medium-sized mammals to really big mammals, eventually to us.
So all these things, none of which were necessarily apex predators, some of them matriculated immediately.
Right. Like, oh, it's my turn now. I get a chance. And then we got a couple of thoughts. We don't want kids. We're a great museum for families and kids.
Right.
But we don't want kids to come in thinking, I'm going to hide under the bed tonight because maybe another asteroid is going to hit, right? So we're going to take you to a section where we're like, don't worry. Good news now. We're watching, and we have technologies that could help us deflect this. Here, try. So we've got a digital interactive where you can try, like, do you want to try the gravity tractor, or how do you think you might deflect an asteroid? Good news, you just saved the planet. And then there's a connection to the present day, which is like, well, that's the good news. We're not going to get wiped out by an asteroid. But we don't really need an asteroid now to drive things to extinction, because unfortunately we can do that ourselves.
Bingo.
So we also want to reassure people, but lots of adults are working on this, and we are making successes. And it's kind of a complicated story, right? Because it starts about dinosaurs, but it brings you all the way through 4 other mass extinctions up to today to say, let's just remember, we all want to protect the world we have now, because the world will keep on spinning and going. We've seen that even if you wipe out most of the species, might not be so good for us, right? That's the real distinction. We weren't around. So if we want to stay around, we got to keep working on the world we have. And that's how we end, I think, on this message of kind of hope and beauty of like, let's keep this, because even though we know the world is reinvented several times, we like it the way it is now for us. And for everything else, for biodiversity.
That's such an incredible amount of breadth of a story to tell. And I love that its origin is in just asking your visitors what they want to know, what they want to learn.
I mean, that's the opportunity for us, right? As a museum is to figure out what do people know already, what brings them in, and then where are the gaps? Where can we be like, but you didn't know that, right? You didn't know about the ferns. You didn't know that mammals got much bigger than they are today even. So
right,
right. So we got this huge Indricotherium at the end. It's It's going to be cool.
Oh,
it's going to be fun.
So the tree here looks like it's relatively far along in its progress.
It is pretty far along. And if you went around the back of it, you would see that this tree is doing a big job for us, which is it's going to conceal a column that holds up our building. Oh. So it's very convenient for us to have a tree in the scene and to kind of use the scene to anchor it. As we're telling you about the rise of the mammals, we don't want you to think it's only mammals, right? So we've got to bring in some other cast of characters too. So we've got like this ambulocetus that's a kind of primitive whale relative on the mammal side. I saw the sculpt of
it back there, terrifying.
Right. But we also got snakes. We got other things so that we kind of balance our story.
So there were snakes this big?
Yeah.
I'm really upset by that.
There are some things that's good that they are extinct.
I totally agree.
At least in terms of our own lives, right?
You said that there were a fern bloom. I'm assuming that means that you guys have to replicate plant matter here.
Yeah, that's a good point. So over here, what you're seeing is these are all of the plants for the Cretaceous scene. Okay. Because just as we want the animals to be accurate, we want the plants to be accurate too.
So none of these are real plants. These
are all things that we've vacuum-formed and painted. In some instances, even you'll see insects have nibbled away in our imagination. Yes. And of course, that's also accurate, right? Everything has to be accurate. So we were really happy that we collaborated with a paleobotanist, that we worked with another museum, the Denver Museum, that sent us some of their molds. That helped us a lot, but we've had a whole leaf crew here, just making leaves, painting leaves, painting leaves, right?
It sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so you said there are some smaller creatures that may populate this?
You want to go look upstairs?
Absolutely.
Okay, great, here we go. Adam, I want to introduce you to Celeste, another one of our amazingly talented artist preparators. Celeste, maybe you can tell Adam what you're up to.
Oh, well, I am primarily working on the primitive mammals for this show.
Bats.
So these are some bats. This is Aniconecturus bene. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, I'm just putting the finishing touches on these little guys. Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
There's going to be a few flying around.
Every hair looks like it's there.
Oh, yeah. I've painted each little hair individually, and before that, sculpted each one.
And you're working with some what looks like beautiful reference material.
These are some references that I got. So obviously there are no photographic references of this guy because he doesn't exist in modern day. But I contacted our bat expert here at the museum, and she advised me to look at insect-eating bats.
Okay. As a reference, that was like got you really close.
As a reference for the face in particular. In addition to some fruit bats, and she wanted big ears, or relatively large ears. Same for the coloring. She told me most bats are brown. Kind of just like look at a bunch of references. There is some theorizing that happens.
I've always loved bats, and I particularly love the photo of the little claws you have up there.
Oh yeah, because I sculpted all the little feet, the little claws individually. That's what makes this bat really particular too, is that it has claws.
At the end of each.
Yeah, unlike modern bats.
So you started out by sculpting these in clay?
Yes. Would you like to see the?
Absolutely.
Here's an example.
So that's your sculpt.
How it starts out. How the sculpt starts out. Yeah.
And do you do the molding, or do you guys have a molding department?
We have a master mold maker here on site.
Amazing.
And he has helped me tremendously by making these incredible molds, because without the mold, you just don't get a good final product. But see here, you can see how it starts off with a brass armature. Sometimes we'll build things in parts because it'll be easier to make molds in parts as well.
Ears included.
The ears are separate too, yeah. Oh, well, actually, you asked about the claws, so here is...
Oh, I love all these little molds, fruit bat ears. Oh my gosh!
A little foot. Here's a little ear.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's adorable. It also looks like a little rat paw, almost.
Yeah, I know.
And you've got rats over here.
I've got some prehistoric rats here. Yeah, this is Mesodma. So there's going to be a few of these running around in the diorama that you may have seen in the front. this guy I really like in particular because he's going to be plucked out of the burrow and
by one of the birds?
by my colleague's dinosaur over there.
That's our next stop. That's amazing.
This one is going to be in the little burrow. There's going to be a cross section of a burrow with a nest, and that's going to be underground.
A mom and her babies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. It's amazing
Sure.
work. Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
What are you working on here? You're working on birds.
Yes. Now, there are many differences at the Hell Creek, the last day of the Mesozoic, right before the asteroid hit. Many differences between the plants and animals that we have now. One of them that was sort of similar is that we had lots of little songbirds flying around in the trees.
Before the impact?
Before the impact,
okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but by the Mesozoic, birds had already diversified and radiated around the world. There were if you didn't look closely, you might think that they were all just like the birds of today.
Wow.
But if you do look closely, you can see that some of them still have teeth.
What?
Like a little alligator. And some of them still have claws sticking out of their wings.
Oh my gosh.
They're just cute as a little canary, but they still have some of their dinosaur ancestry showing. These are groups of birds called enantiornithines, which went completely extinct at the end of the Cretaceous, and there are no descendants alive today.
Amazing.
But they were competing with modern birds at the time, and at the time we probably have more fossils of enantiornithines. They were probably more successful.
Oh, well, I mean, they had teeth.
right. Yeah, so they had the fighting advantage or whatever. But the amount of fossils we have is incredibly scrappy. Like, we wanted to put in a bird in the Hell Creek because we knew there were many birds, but birds preserve very, very terribly as fossils. So the total number of Hell Creek birds that we have could fit in your palm. They're just like little broken chicken bones.
Because they're all tiny little hollow.
Yeah, hollow bones that easily break. Yeah, you'll just get the end of one tibia or something like that, or a metacarpus if you're really lucky. So this doesn't even have a name. It's just enantiornithine Hell Creek bird. Because we know they were there. The only thing we know is they were there. We have no other knowledge about them whatsoever.
It looks like you are mid-paint job with these guys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, this is just primer.
Okay.
But the process was sculpting it all in clay, based on excellent CT scans and stuff that we have. Roger Benson got me amazing reference materials. And we know from other birds that are related that they had feathering on their wings that was almost the exact same as modern birds. So in clay and with wire, I sculpted all the little toes and talons and teeth and everything. The eyes I had to put flashing, masking over so that the glass eyes in there don't get damaged. Those are just little taxidermy glass eyes that you get for birds. You can get out of catalogs.
Oh yeah. Are you leaving the tips unpainted so light might show through a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hoping to get a little bit of translucency, and I'll do lighter airbrush paint on top of that.
Oh, that's great.
I know you're familiar with the process, but sculpting in clay, then using rubber, silicone, liquid that you pour over it into molds, and then casting it in polyurethanes. I like to go with really hard machinable polyurethanes just because these shows all travel. And when I used to use more fragile materials, stuff would come back and they'd be like, "Can you fix this?" And it would just be, blasted apart. Sometimes we'd have to rebuild it completely.
So you're able to use super hard urethane casting resins that are archival enough for your guys' purposes.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
That dinosaur over there, it's an Alvarez-saur.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, it's a strange kind of mutated dinosaur, right? They're called, yeah, so you saw Mesodma already.
Yeah, and the
Mesodma.
little teeth.
I don't know if you saw in the landform down there, there's a little burrow with a warren of Mesodmas living in there.
Yes.
And you saw the family over there. Well, this guy is...
this one less family member.
Exactly, This is the heavy in the story, and he has just dug a hole and dug into the burrow and pulled this guy up through the ceiling. The whole animal's balanced on one foot to make it look alive, it's trotting along or whatever. And so this is a classic place where it would crack. So I put carbon fiber alongside the inside, and I used a urethane glue to separate the steel rod from the outer plastic sheet.
Oh, nice.
So that it won't crack when it flexes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Because I don't want to ever fix anything again. One of the most bizarre things about
That's what I was just about to ask
you got
about.
A good eye.
This little dew claw.
Yes. And this has touched off a whole debate in paleontology about the whole family has these super reduced forelimbs, and most of them are reduced down to just one single claw.
Oh, so no wings even.
No.
Right, that's what's left of the wing?
That's what's left. Yeah, it's reduced, super reduced.
Oh my God.
However, it's reduced in a weird way where the muscle attachments are huge relative to the length of the bone. So it's like really wide and really short.
So it could grab something really hard?
Really strong, motions of some kind, but no one can figure out what because the forelimbs are so short. Some suggested maybe they tear open termite mounds, but it would basically have to press its chest against the termite mound. And when I was doing the armature for this, I realized the tip of the mouth can't even reach there.
Huh.
Like it can't cock its head back hard enough to get. Right. So it'd have to tear open a termite mound, back up, and then stick its mouth in the hole.
So I loved it. This is like you're putting these details that you know exist, but you're still not even sure how they worked.
Yeah, that's right. I'll get back to that in a second, but this is one of the only alvarezsaurs that's known from North America and from the Hell Creek, and it's mostly known just from a series of these claws that show a growth sequence. Like, so different individuals that were at different stages of maturity.
Okay. I love the plumage here.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a former broom.
It is. That's exactly right. Now, of course, we treated it to make sure that there won't be any pests coming out of it later, but you might know, I don't know how many times you tried to do proto-feathers, but tapered...
Oh, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare to do anything that's tapered because if you take monofilament and you try to sand every monofilament, you'll never do it. So I had to go with natural stuff. I just went with a ceremonial grass broom. And
that makes total sense.
Yeah, and it simulates proto-feathers very well, which were just like simple filaments.
And then all of this feathering that's your sculpture in there.
Right, so it's a technique we've used for a long time where we just kind of sculpt the feather texture into, sculpt epoxy. And once it's painted, it will blend. It usually blends very, very well.
Yeah.
So we've had people. I had a guy once come in and say, like, "Can I touch this, or is this all? Will the feathers fall out?" Amazing. Like, if the paint job is good enough, you will trick fool people's eye, and they'll actually think that.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned before that those birds still have teeth and claws.
Yeah.
And that we have excellent references now. Mm-hmm. This is enantiornithine from Patagonia.
Okay.
And you can see these are its teeth. It's a bird, but these are its teeth. They look just like a crocodile.
They totally do.
But look at the scale bar. That's 1 millimeter. So those teeth are like almost impossible to see. Yeah.
Wow.
Incredibly tiny. Way sub millimeter on those.
Oh my God. So this is like, oh wow. Okay.
But it's like a tiny fine crocodile. Yeah. And then there's these amazing fossils coming out of Myanmar, Burmese amber. Oh. And this was one that, when it was published, everybody's jaws just dropped.
That's a wing.
They had caught the little tip of a baby enantiornithine bird in the amber. It was probably nesting in the tree or something. It got smothered in amber. And then this is the CT. I think it's synchrotron radiation to get this high res.
Yeah.
And you can see there, like a chicken now has 3 fused fingers. It has 2 fused fingers here and with claw there, and then that's the thumb, the alula, and then that's the rachis, the quill that you use for lion bristles.
Yeah, whiskers.
Whiskers, yeah. And then these are the reiki for the flight feathers. These are the primaries and these are the secondaries. All preserved in one little lump of amber.
I think I remember when the news story hit, but I only saw the first picture of the amber, not the...
Oh, yeah. No, this is from, I think it published in Nature or something like that, but it was... We had always known, like from Archaeopteryx, that it would be something like this.
Right.
I'd spent years basically faking it. Like, it's got to be something like this. And then this published, and it was exactly the way we've been doing it for like 10 years, and I was jumping for joy. Yeah.
So exciting, exciting.
Okay, so we have the giant extinction. Mm-hmm. The asteroid hits the Earth. Yeah. The mammals that survive are like the size of mice or shrews. 400,000 years later in Denver.
That's it?
Just 400,000 years later in Denver, they've already... evolved to be this size.
Well, with nothing to predate them, they just started.
Exactly. Yeah. When I started reconstructing this, I gave it like digitigrade, like your dog even has like a little shank above its foot. Mm-hmm. That's actually its heel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's an adaptation to running fast. And sheep and stuff like that, they have really long ones. Deer have super long ones.
Yeah,
They're called metatarsus. So when I did it the first time, I had this metatarsus up at an angle like that. Mm-hmm. And the curators were like, one of our curators is Tyler Lyson in Denver, and he was like, no, dude. He's like, this thing could not run. He's like, the inner ear, we CT'd it. It was very slow and lumbering. He's like, it had no problems in life. It just walked from one meal to the next.
I love how much information you're able to discern from the bones of an inner ear of an extinct creature.
Scientists are now, like Roger and Tyler are incredible at extracting data and in making inferences from by comparing them to living organisms. But so after just 400,000 years, a mouse becomes this. It's probably the first specialized herbivore, so it's just munching food all day.
And it, again, has no predators, so it can spend 400,000 years just getting fat.
Yes, and probably they were competing with each other for like the biggest ones were getting bigger territory, something like that. So that was what was driving the size. But Tyler said, I need a beer belly. I said, because remember, it's eating all roughage all day. And it needs to
high
ferment.
Fiber.
Yeah, so like my first one was like, like a race dog like that, because I wanted to look cool and Mesozoic. But he's like, no, it needs a beer belly.
So in the mid-sculpt, the personality of the thing you're sculpting may shift radically.
Yes. I was a painter for a long time, and painters probably have a cliche about how you find it while you're working.
Yeah.
And I usually go in with like some presumptions, and everything we do here is a collaboration. So I'm constantly emailing pictures to the curators. Usually there's more than one curator, oftentimes a team, and they're bouncing back like ideas. Sometimes they'll be like, let me show you something unpublished, but don't show anybody. And that'll answer my question. Or other times they'll be like, let me call an expert, and he'll get back and he'll be like, you're doing it all wrong. And then, we'll change what we're doing. But that's why we don't do anything in plastic until we have all those answers. Yeah. And then, so now we know this thing has plantigrade feet like a guinea pig, but it's the size of basically a lamb or a sheep.
Oh my God. Jason, this is so thrilling. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Incredible work.
Glad you could stop by.
Thank you so much for watching that video. If while watching any of my videos you like any of the t-shirts that you see me wearing, well, you can go buy them. And there's two places you can get them. First, you can go to tested-store.com, a web address that my crew laughs is one of the hardest things for me to remember in my whole brain. But now they've given me a second URL. You can now go to adamsavage.com and buy any of the t-shirts you see me wearing on this channel. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff there too. Thanks.